Welcome to Win in Life Wednesday featuring the Lemon lineup today. We are going to have a good show. This is Win in Life Wednesday, a show that talks to entrepreneurs who are winning in life and in business. I'm your host, Cornell Mack, and your boy is geeked up because we have a special guest tonight. I've known him for 37 long years, and he left a six-figure job to create this wonderful lemon lineup business, and we're going to hear all about it tonight. So get ready, get tuned in, because tonight we're going to have my younger brother on here, Rio Poston of the Lemon lineup. What's going on with you, little bro?
What's going on, man? What's up? What's up?
How are you? And welcome to the show. It's been a long time coming. I
Yeah, this
am
is
happy. I'm happy to have you on here, bruh. And in the brand new, this is the first actual episode that has the brand new Mac Attack Media studio back here that your sister-in-law put together for us. But I'm excited to have you on here. You've done lawn care. You've worked at the group homes with me. You left. You went to work at a major billion-dollar company for a long time, and now you're out here living the entrepreneur life, man. So before we get going in this whole conversation, explain to the people who are watching today who you are and a little bit about the lemon lineup before we get into it. And we're actually going to show you how he makes these lemonades that are absolutely fire. I can 100% vouch for that. And he'll be at the 2026 Win in Life Meetup Service Business Showcase as our
yes, sir.
official drink provider. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mario, and tell us about the lemon lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I want to start off by saying thank you for having me. Like you said, this is definitely long overdue. We've talked about it on numerous occasions of over different jobs and different things that we were, maybe talking about or doing. So it's kind of cool to finally have this opportunity to do it now. So thank you for that, number one. In terms of the lemon lineup, it kind of started out, really playfully. It was actually pretty cool. We were sitting in the house one day. We were kind of like talking about it, throwing it around. Really didn't have any true direction, but it was something that was in the air. Um, we went to New Jersey, believe it or not. We were walking up and down the boardwalk. We seen, lemonade every corner. Every corner was lemonade, and we're like, I'm like, there's no lemonade in Pittsburgh. Like, there's no specific place making lemonade. And I'm like, I wonder if we can make it a thing. So we sat on it for a little bit. We didn't really make any movement. And then one day I was like, let's just throw a tent up in the yard and see what happens. We threw a table up, man. We didn't really have the recipe 100%, but we were kind of close. And I kid you not, the support was overwhelming. I know your family showed up. We had police officers driving from other boroughs to come and buy this lemonade because they knew that there was kids involved they wanted to support. And so it kind of went from this like playful idea of seeing it when you're away on a vacation to kind of like bringing it to you and finding a way to provide that same kind of feeling to other people. So it was really kind of crazy how it all developed.
That man, that's sick. Look, I ain't gonna lie. When I was just driving through, I was on my way to the compound or picking up my daughter. I can't remember exactly what I was doing, and we're gonna get into this whole story about how this happened. But I was just driving down the street, and next thing I know, I just see them out there. That the first day there wasn't even a tent. But again, we're gonna talk about that whole
Yeah.
thing. But first, well, I wanted you to know kind of what my brother does and what his business is, because Mario, I believe that we have to do the things that we have passion for. And you've been a passionate person when it comes to sales since, I mean, I remember his kindergarten graduation. And he had I think his kindergarten teacher's name was Miss Gunn. And we went to this Duquesne Catholic grade school. And she said that my brother could talk his way out of anything. And he was 5 years old. So to be able to finally use those skills, because I've been saying, bro, you can sell yourself and do all of this and do all of that, but we had to figure out, or he had to figure out, you had to figure out what it actually was that you wanted to do, and we're going to get into that story today. But he did leave a six figure business. He worked with me in the group homes, and he's been doing a lot of things. So before you got into the lemon lineup, Mario, tell us a little bit about what you did as a career, because people get into entrepreneurship and all different sorts of ways. And so whoever's going to listen to this, they're going to be inspired just knowing that maybe their story is a little similar to yours, and that you left a six-figure job, and that they could potentially do it too. So what did you do before, stepping out into this entrepreneurial mindset that you have now?
Yeah, I mean, it started at a young age, as you said. I was a young adult, I would say, working in the mall, bouncing around store to store. And through those experiences, I met people, and through relationships that I had with other people, it opened the door for other opportunities. And it's it seems to be that through relationships, I've always been able to kind of jump through some different hoops that I maybe wouldn't have necessarily had the opportunity to do. So I've always been grateful for my ability to build and sustain relationships with people. Maybe it's the gift of gab, I don't know, but it somehow works out in my favor, and I always end up somewhere with people who have my best interest. As you mentioned, I started out in the group home setting with you. It was amazing, kind of how that started, because it was like my brothers were all getting me jobs, if you will. When I say, like, Brad helping me get a job at Circuit City, you helped me get the job at Fayette. It was like people were always lining me up for something, and I never was really kind of doing something on my own. But when I would get in there, I would impress, I would do well. And so not only did it make the person who recommended me look really good, but it also made me look good. And so, being able to take advantage of those early successes in different businesses, allowed me the opportunity to step into that six-figure role, that you had mentioned, which, I'm not allowed to go into specifics, but to say the least, I left in a good situation, with the ability to, pursue something even greater than that. And I always told myself, even while making the six figures, that um, this job was holding me back from making more. I always felt
Mm.
that way, but it was like at some point the rubber had to hit the road. And through some long conversations and strategizing, and trying to figure out the best way to make it work, we were able to make it work. And so we're really excited about the direction that we're going. As he said, we started out with two tables and a cooler of ice on the side of us, and within 2 days we had a 10 up matching the same color with a full scale logo, with a menu that people could pick from. I mean, this thing went
It was
from zero
crazy.
to 100 quick, very quick.
No doubt. And so we both growing up together, we grew up, my brother and I, single mom. We have a younger sister. I also have two other brothers. But Mario is the one I'm the most closest with. And so we grew up in the same house together. And I remember I told a story about me being 12 years old, running down to the daycare to pick up you and our sister. But we seen our mother struggle. And so one of the goals I know is similar to me that my brother has was to just have family, and then have a stable family. We live in the same neighborhood. Our kids go to the same school. So what was our upbringing like that made you want to be the husband and father you are? Because that's the reason why I know he wanted to get out of the job and create his own lane so he could be home with that family. Because, like I said, our fathers really wasn't in our lives a lot. So when it comes to living in the home. So, tell us a little bit about how that shaped you, and how you needed to get away from that job so you could find kind of yourself and then be there for your family.
Oh man, yeah, that's
That's a
deep. I
little
mean,
deep.
yeah, that's definitely deep. I would say that I think all of us have a small part of us that it drives us to do things or create things that we maybe wanted or didn't have, whatever that may be. And I think that my mom did a fantastic job. Our mom, I should say. Sorry, because of this platform, it's kind of weird. But yeah, our mom did a fantastic job of playing those roles, man, and balancing that out, the best she could. Had I not known otherwise through friends, I would have thought everything that I had going on was relatively normal. It was being around other people and seeing some other things, and getting some other experience that allowed me to see that, like, holy crap, like, there's another way to live this life that I'm living, you know.
Yeah.
And so I would say that, you know, some of those things that I had observed, whether it be a father mother combination in the home, or an entrepreneurial father, like, you know, the Faddishes that I grew up around, you know, my later years in high school, you know, where I got to see somebody make it on their own. And so, you know, I knew that there was an option. My mom was doing it my whole life. It maybe didn't look the prettiest of ways, but she was out there hustling too. And so I feel like that has always been passed on to us. And I think that we made the little tinkers that needed to be made to do what needed to get done. And so that's kind of why we're, you know, sitting in the positions that we're in, and we ain't done yet, you know?
No doubt, man. We definitely ain't done. And like I said, my brother's going to be the official drink. Um, I don't want to say sponsor, the official drink of of the 2026 Winning Life Meetup Service Business Showcase, which you can sign up for right now. We got over 30 people signed up from, I want to say, 11, 12 different states. We got people coming from California, Washington State, you know, Wisconsin. It's going to be dope. So make sure you sign up. But um, you, I remember us playing flag football. I know I talk about flag football a lot. He is one of my teammates, one of my definitely my favorite teammates. My brother is so dope. He's a three sport athlete in high school, and we used to play football at this place called Pisa. It was an indoor like soccer place, but they also had had flag football in there, and and there used to be a bar up there, and we would go up to the bar, and they had food and libations and everything. And I remember I'd be up there talking about we need to get real estate. Broke is a joke. I mean, we was all broke, but like I'm up there because I was just I'm a how much older am I than you? 6 years.
6 years every five,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm 6 years older than my brother. So, and then I'm the oldest of all of our friends. So I'll be up there because I was listening to like Dave Ramsey and I was listening to real estate stuff. And I'm trying to tell my brother and my friends like this is what y'all should be doing because I felt like y'all was in a financially a better position. My brother didn't have kids yet. My friends didn't have kids. I had a kid, and I was married, and I'm like trying to tell them because I could see like that they could get to where I wanted to get to faster if they had the knowledge that I had. But a lot of times people don't want to do that. My brother, uh, I don't want to say he would let stuff go in one ear and out the other, but my brother would like listen, and then we would have conversations later, and then we would talk about those things because we've grown a lot closer as we've gotten older. But I was telling him when I first started about lawn care, like, cut, bro, you gotta start a business, bro, because I knew he wanted to leave the job he was at. Start a business, start a business. It took about what 3 years of me saying this, and then he eventually started. And now, as I said, he's doing a lemon lineup. So tell us a little bit about your journey in lawn care and why you decided to kind of put a pause on that because you still could do that if you wanted to, but
Yeah.
to actually get something started with your lemon lineup. What was lawn care like for you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, lawn care was amazing to me. I seen the opportunity. I seen the ability for growth. I seen how you could scale it and really turn it into something that would be very profitable. Um, it ultimately, I think, kind of what you started this out with is like we all got to figure out what it is for us. And at that time, I was just looking for a way out, and it didn't matter what it was. Like it really didn't. And I was kind of, you know, from the information that you had told me, bringing that boat to the dock, if you will, right? And so I just kept telling myself, like, all right, he keeps saying, get 50 yards, get 50 yards, get 50 yards. That can't be that hard. And so it was like just kind of wrapping my mind around doing that type of work while still being forced to do what I was doing. It was a
Mm,
really hard juggle, and I wish that I would have had the ability to just jump. Because I think if I would have, I probably would have been a lot more immersed into that space and maybe had that, now this, and some other stuff rolling, which still, like you said, is not off the table. But yeah, that lemon, the journey from the lawn care to the lemonade was the same. It was the same. It started out as an idea.
mhm,
I tested it out. I made some adjustments. I improved it a little bit, and then I did better. Lawn care, I started out, had a push mower, had 2 yards. Next thing you know, got a riding mower, had 8 yards. Was able to really start to see the difference that that ride on mower could do for me. And before you knew it, I was up to 25, 30 yards. So, I mean, it's definitely possible. It's definitely something that I still do truly believe in. I talk to a friend of mine every day. who's in that space. And I encourage them to do different things, whether it be with snow, whether it be, doing lawn fertilization, etc. Because I do think that there's so much opportunity in this space.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I remember he got stuck in the backyard, and it took a while. He hit me up because my brother is the. I feel like I was talking to Ralph last night. My brother's father-in-law is a photographer. He's going to be the photographer for our Win in Life meetup. So shout out to the family for helping the family out. But I seen him last night, and he was just like, they're killing it with the lemonade, and I was like, yeah. I said because you found something that was for you, right? Some when I found lawn care, nobody in my family was doing it. Like
Hmm.
nobody around me that I knew was doing it. I was watching YouTube videos and that got me to be like, I remember when my grandmother had me cutting grass. I didn't know that you could make some cash from cutting some grass, right? On a big scale, right? We was doing yards for $10 when I was a kid. If I was playing basketball, I wasn't even cutting no damn yards, to be honest with you. But when I
Yeah.
found lawn care, it was like, this is me. Like I like being outside. I like the smell of the grass. I like buying the cool equipment. My favorite color is red. I got all red everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
look at me now. Right. And I said to Ralph, my brother found his thing because grass sorta was like my thing. And when you ain't all the way in it and you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and you literally had that because you had a job, it's hard to be like totally committed to that thing. And I have, a dope little nephew, three beautiful nieces. My brother got a family. So it ain't like you could just be like, hey, burn the bridge. F it. I'm about to jump
Yeah.
in and we just gonna start pedaling when you gotta take care of a whole family. But I was telling Ralph, like, yeah, it's dope to see what you're doing because uh, it's yours and it's your wife's, and it's gonna work because you got two people going in the same direction. I always talk about the Belgian horse type thing. So let's get into how you really like got the idea, and then we'll talk about that first day. The people coming up because I remember just driving past, not even knowing what the hell was going on, and I seen this
Yeah.
line of cars. You know what I mean? So let's go a little deeper into how you got the idea. I know you said you traveled and seen it somewhere, but then how did you like formulate the idea and then figure out how to make it into a little business?
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we seen it on vacation in New Jersey. That was kind of like the initial spark. And then I came home, and again, as much as I hate to say it, because I know it's always a thing right now, but like TikTok can be a tool if you let it be, right? And so, for some reason, my algorithm picked up lemonade, and before you know it, I'm seeing little street vendors hustling lemonade in different states and doing different things, and I'm seeing these different people, and I wish that I could remember some of the names and. And give them their credit and shout them out in this space because that would be awesome. But I really can't because there were so many, and it was like information overload. But ultimately what it came down to was, it was simple. I know people love it, and I felt like, it brought everything that I'm about together. I don't gotta be away from my family to do this. My kids can be involved and people aren't gonna be offended by it. I get to actually still be social and be interactive with people because that's something I crave and I desire. And like to not have that would be like taking everything from me. So to be able
Mm.
to have that with my kids involved, with my wife involved, I mean, we're talking like a legit full-fledged family business. And so at this moment in time, with the way things are going, I just felt like, there was no greater time than now to be with my family and do those types of things. And so that's really where the passion came from for it. And that's really what is driving us to kind of take this to a place that something like we're doing in this area has probably never been done before.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, it was crazy. I was just driving down the street, and I'm like, huh. I see my brother outside. Now it's funny because right around the corner from you, more I was driving. I cut a couple yards that are down around the corner from you, and there was these young ladies, and they were out there one day the year before last, and they were making these lemonades. And I grabbed a couple of them. I took them up to my wife, up to Cass, and I was like, "Look, these little girls are making these lemonades." And we drank them. They were cool, whatever. And I never seen them kids again. It was like a one-time thing until I'm driving through the neighborhood, and I'm like, "Why does my brother got tables in it?" Because I ain't gonna lie. I mean, if you cut grass, sometimes I'll go a different way just so I could drive past the yard
Yeah.
that I cut, right? And so I drive past my brother's house all the time just to see if my nieces and my nephew were outside, or my brother or my sister-in-law or Poppy J, so I could just wave, you know what I mean, see my family. It's always cool. But this day he happened to have this thing out. So he had a table and some coolers and these cups and this little spread. I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, just making some lemonade. All right. I was like, all right, bet I want to buy one. So I bought a couple. I think I bought four. Took them down. I told my wife, like, yo, they started something up there. That was it. I thought it was just, you doing something with the girls so that they can make a little bit of money. I ain't have no idea that what it was gonna turn into. So tell us a little bit about, like, because we're gonna make a lemonade. He's gonna show you how he makes these lemonades. And another reason I wanted to have you on, Mar, was because once you get out into the entrepreneurial space, there's all these ideas that flood in that you could be using too. And so my brother's making lemonades here in Pittsburgh. Well, we're going to show you the process because maybe your kids want to do this same thing, and you can go make the investments into the couple tools that he's going to show you today, because it's not even a lot. And then maybe you and your kids can go out and do something similar to what he's doing, because business is universal. So tell us a little bit about the process of making the lemonades. What do you need for them and all of that, and then maybe we'll go make one or something soon.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as you could think. You need obviously a lemon. Um, excuse me. I'm just getting over a sickness. Um, So the cool thing with the lemons is that when you get into any business, you start to learn the logistics behind it, and how the packaging of products work, right? And so when it comes to lemons, the amount that you buy varies based on the size of the lemon varies based on the amount that you buy. Okay. And so in the instance that we buy and buy a box of 90 count. And that 90 count comes with one full size lemon that's a pretty healthy size that we can use to make our lemonades. There are times where we get a higher count because maybe we're expecting a little bit of a different volume. And so we may use two lemons if they're a little smaller, just to kind of equal out the juice. Because to me, I never want to just be giving someone water. Like, the lemon is the star of the show. We want to make sure that that's the case, and
Mm,
so that's extremely important. Um, so when we're making them, the idea is to use a very specific measurement, whether it be a classic lemonade or a flavored lemonade. And we have a measurement that we follow. We've added a little bit to it. We've adjusted it to make it so that it's right in that range of where you get some tart, but you're going to get that sweetness coming through as well. And then the flavors, it's hit or miss. Some people love it, and some people would just prefer a classic straight lemonade.
mm.
And I think that it can't be too much simpler than that. You're slicing a lemon, you're grinding it up, you're getting all the juices out of it, you're mixing some water, you're mixing some ice, you're giving it a nice healthy shake, and boom, you got a lemonade.
No doubt. Tell us a little bit about some of the other ideas that you're coming up with now, because, like I said, once you get out there, for me, when it was cutting grass, it was like, oh, they asked someone else to do their mulch. I could do mulch. They got shrubs. I could trim shrubs, and before you know it, you got basically depending on what you do, a 2 to 10 to 20 different income streams coming from different things that you do within the green industry. Well, my brother's now in the drink making industry. So what are some other ideas that you've come up with, or that you're kind of brainstorming to add to it? And then I want to go over where your setup started, and then what some investments that you've made now, to be even more professional as you really go at this thing.
Yeah, so the first part, um, I'm trying to think of like the right way to word everything. Sorry, I hear my kids. I'm getting distracted by that.
It's
I just
okay. Hey,
hear,
they all know I got ADHD, so
yeah, I
I'm
just
pretty
hear
good at
kids.
talking now. I'm pretty
I'm
good
like,
at
I want to
talking now.
stop and go check and like see what's going on if I need to do anything. It's just as soon as I hear a kid, it just like takes my mind off of everything. I apologize.
No, that's
Um,
cool. Yeah, but just
no,
ideas that you've come up.
yeah. So I mean, honestly, it kind of became like a concession stand at that point where it was like everything that you could think of at a carnival or a fair or a concession stand that you would want. I was like, I want to give it to people. Now, obviously, that's not realistic, right? Because I've had some bad experiences with soft pretzels, which was something that I had on my mind. I'm like, people love pretzels. But then it got into, well, am I adding sugar? Am I doing the whole, sweet dip stuff, the extras with it? Like, am I going to do any of these extra things? And how much time is that going to take me to prep? So, I really started to put some thought into quicker things that could make me money, right? And one of them, ironically enough, through a lot of people asking was, we weren't offering slushies that were lemonade, but now offer the water ice, right? Which is pretty much is similar to like a Rita's if you're in PA. It's a shaved ice, kind of something they usually serve with like a custard of some sort, but this is a lot more like fruity. So you don't really need the custard. It's pretty much served as is, but you can scoop it a certain way and in a certain pattern to where it can give people a variation of flavors all in one bite. And so
Mm,
that's really where the gimmick behind it is. Not gimmick, but the whole catch behind it is giving them that like more than one flavor in one bite. Another thing that has come up, recently because we use it so much in one of our major drinks, which is called the Cloud 9, is cotton candy. That's our cotton candy flavor lemonade. We use it. We were buying it in bulk at all times. People were asking for it. And so we thought to ourselves, well, okay, why would we keep spending X amount on this cotton candy? We can just buy our own cotton candy machine, make it ourselves, bag it, sell it on spot, and use it for our
mm.
drinks. It's a double win. So we started to now make our own cotton candy as well. Right now we started out with two simple flavors, the most popular ones, and we will start to add as we go on, as we get more requests. Because at the end of the day, it's for the people, right? You start out in something and it's for you, but most of the things that you add after, kind of similar to what you're saying with the lawn care, are because of things that the people asked you for.
Mhm.
So this is nothing like this is the same thing as any other business. You're just giving people what they're asking for. If someone walks up and they said they wanted mango, well, bet your bottom dollar the next time I'm up there at that same place, I'll have a mango bottle that next time. And I'm gonna remember their face and I'm like, hey, I got mango today. You ready? And that's an
Yeah.
automatic sale because I have that memory, because I'm showing a level of consideration and thought for that person that's going to make them become not only a regular, but somebody that's going to promote me and talk about to the other people that they know, etc. And that's really how you grow and how you blow in these types of areas. Um, and the last thing that is now on the horizon, or last two things I should say, I don't want to get long winded because I know we're here for time, but um, hot dogs will be introduced here soon. We will have
The
a
glizzies.
special. Yeah, we will be having a glizzy special, if you will. Definitely gonna be some chili dogs because my wife makes an amazing chili, so we will have a chili dog special. It'll be like while supplies last kind of thing. Still working on the pricing and the framework of that, but that is definitely something that I will be doing because we have to partner the lemonade with something. And it can't just be snacks like popcorn and cotton candy, which popcorn is the other avenue that we're pursuing as well. We bought a pretty big size popcorn machine. There's something about the aroma of popcorn in the air, no matter where you are, that kind of draws people in. And so we want to really take advantage of that. And again, it's a great snack to have to kind of offset that sweetness of a lemonade, give them some with some salt. So that's really the kind of the way we're trying to angle everything that we're going through right now.
Nice. Well, in lawn care, well, at least in what I do, if you add on, herbicide, pesticides, and spraying and things like that, fert and squirt, you're going to need a license and all of that. Well, you're working with food to mow grass. I don't need a all I need is a driver's license and be able to get there for the most part. And you might need a business license for your municipality or whatever. Check in on your own stuff. I'm no expert when it comes to that. But when you're dealing with food, you have to be sanitary and things like that. For if someone might want to try this idea that you're talking about today, and maybe they want to start a lemonade stand or a tea stand or something like that. Uh, I know it varies from state to state, area to area, municipality to municipality or whatever. But what kind of like um, licenses or permits did you need to get to be able to go do these functions? Because I want to talk about the functions and stuff that you're doing now as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as you said, it's state by state and it's function by function. Some functions govern at a really high level, and they're really, all over every nook and cranny. Whether you need to have a safety serve license, which means you have to take classes and understand what temperatures things need to be kept at in order to serve them to human beings and things like that. But that's typically when you're serving food. So what I'll say to answer your question is because the things that I just mentioned to you are still so new, I haven't had the opportunity to walk down that path. We spent the first, from August till, we'll say, just recently till now, just selling lemonade. And with that specifically, there are no, serving rules or guidelines or anything that you have to follow, at least in Pennsylvania, other than, if we were to be selling, we need to have certain things for that event, sanitation things in place, coolers, a dripless bucket that can just continuously run water. There are certain things that you need for that event that you go to, but like I said, it varies, and it just depends on where you're going, who you're serving to, and things of that nature.
Let's talk about the progression now because you made a recent purchase and now you're remodeling this thing because you want to take this thing and be big, maybe even franchise it out. I know Ralph was telling me about that. So let's talk about the progression. I know you said you started with just some stuff you seen, probably got it on Amazon. I seen you with that little table out there, whatever, and then it kind of turned in the next day. My man had a whole tent out there. So tell explain to us a little bit of the progression and why you felt it necessary to make more investments into the business so that you could be more efficient and everything with it.
Again, this is just like lawn care. You see something, and when you see it, you know right away, right? And so, you start out with two tables, and it's just like if you get to borrow somebody's lawnmower, right? We had two tables, they weren't even our tables. And then the next time when you seen us with the tent, that wasn't even our tent. You know what I mean? So again, sometimes the things that you have are not things that you have to buy yourself. You just have to be willing to ask for the things that you need. And then when you get them, do something with it. And then when people see you doing something with it, more times than not, you're getting more use out of it than they are. They don't even want it back. So now
Wow.
I got two tents outside. I got four tables outside right now. I can set up at two places all because I asked one question to two different people.
Mm, mm,
So
mm,
most of it was just me again leveraging relationships. Like my in-laws, they had a tent, they weren't using it. They pop it up at soccer games and stuff. They pop it up for events at their house. They had no use for other than like signature moments. Gladly handed it over to me when I asked, like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Can we have it? We're gonna be out in the work out a little bit. We need something to be covered from the sun." Perfect, take it. Two tables came with it. You know what I mean? So
mm,
I would say that, that progression didn't happen because we went out and spent a bunch of money. It happened because, as you said, you come around the corner, you see people doing something, and you want to support it. And that was their way of showing support. And we've had a number of other people who've poured into us, whether it be coming to every event, whether it be sending money because they can't come to the events. I mean, I can't even describe the amount of love that we've gotten, from those closest to us, but then even from people that we don't even know from
mm.
starting this. So, like, if you're thinking about starting something, I, I would say that, you'll be surprised that even if it's not the people closest to you, which I think in my brother's case, it was like that at first for him. Maybe not everybody was jumping on the train right away, but the people who do get on the train are the ones that matter the most. And that's why what he's built within this community and what he's providing to you all now, like, that's what makes this so special to me to observe, because, like, I watched him try to tell this story to so many people, and we had so many conversations, and I believed in him. I didn't tell him he was wrong. I just was like, "Yo, I don't think you're talking to the right people." And when he found the right people to talk to, it was like the roof blew off. And so it's amazing to see come full circle, man. And I hope that, people who are watching this or do get a chance to watch this, that they see that it could be the simplest, smallest, no pun intended, but seed that can be planted in your brain, and it could be something so little and silly that could turn into $1 million. I've met millionaires that sell lemonade already. I've met them.
Mm.
I've talked to
Wow.
them. So I believe it. I believe it.
You
I
got me tearing up over here because I remember that conversation. I was like, no, it irritates me. The people I love, I just want to see them win so bad. I tell this person this, they don't listen or they laugh or whatever, and he's like, you just talking to the wrong audience.
Yep.
That's all. You just talking to the wrong audience. You gotta find the right people that want to hear that. Because we talked we talked before. And it's like people only know you for what they know you from when they know you. And if they
Yep.
knew you when you was young, when you didn't have ideas, I don't care about money. and you didn't
Yep.
have ideas and action behind ideas that were showing something fruitful and prosperous, they don't want to hear that shit. And he was
Yep.
like, "You talking to the wrong people." That's why I turned the camera on. That's why I turned the microphones on. So I could talk to the people who's looking for this. We out here trying to win in life. And I want to talk to people who's trying to do that
Yep.
because we've been losing in life for way too damn long. And it's time to stop that. And I like
Yep.
what you said. You don't need to go out there and invest a whole bunch of money first. You invest as time progresses and you see what you need. I know this. I learned that lesson by buying a lawnmower when I still had to riding lawnmower, tractor when I still had to carry lawnmowers up steps. So don't waste your money, man. Find the idea, do some research, and then get started. Well, you've been making those investments now, and you recently made an investment into something new. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and I think that you kind of just touched on it, and we haven't had a chance to see it, give the fruits of the labor of having it yet, because it is something we're working on. But we did purchase a trailer. There's something about the visual from a tent to a trailer that kind of really kind of turns you into a full-fledged business, in my opinion, and makes people more likely to walk up and pursue you. And so we wanted to take advantage of that ability to market ourselves in that way, and we found an opportunity, and so we did, take advantage of it. However, when you do transactions like that, that comes with a risk. And as we're going through the process of repairing it or getting it in the position that we needed in to be able to meet the standards that you did talk about, there are some things that come up that maybe you wouldn't have had to look at or worry about initially. And so my one thing to say to someone, if you are kind of coming into this or if you're thinking about it, is as hard of a grind as it is to be under that tent, tough that out as long as you can until you can make some real coins, and that investment that you make can really come right back to you, because you're going to get a vessel that can move or that's already operational, or something that really makes sense for your purchase at that time. But yeah, we got a trailer. We're remodeling it, we're getting it up to code to make sure that we meet all the safety and serving it, measurements that are required in the state of PA as well as other states, at least within our range. And we're hoping to be fully go by March 1. And obviously, we'll be at your event, so that trailer will be there then. So anybody who's here now will get a chance to see it in live action. And obviously, we'll have some pictures and some things like that to kind of celebrate the moment, because it will be somewhat of a grand opening for us as well in that space. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I swear, as the future is back. 88 must be our boy Prime. What's going on with you, Prime? He's an OG from our original Vapor football team when it was called Black Magic when we played back then, and we had light skinned dudes and some white dudes. And I said we can't really be Black Magic with all these, what I'm saying? That's another story for another day. But Prime is in there. We're gonna go up and make a lemonade here pretty soon, but what was I was gonna say something and I just lost the train of thought because I realized that that was Prime. Uh, what when you get the trade? Oh, this is what I was gonna ask you. I'm sorry. So let's say they're gonna start a lemonade stand or a tea stand or whatever. You really food is different. How do you go about getting some of these venues? Because the cool thing was it went from one weekend seeing my brother, and this was on back to back days. Like I know I keep bringing it back to this, but from driving down the street and seeing him out there with two tables that now I know weren't even his. Okay, driving, going down, seeing these two tables. The very next day, I shit you not. The very next day, I'm just driving down again, and they're out there again. Only now they got two tables, coolers out there because it was just like some pictures of ice the first day. Now they got igloo coolers on the side. There's a yellow tent that says the lemon lineup on it. My man got this referee jersey on. His wife got one on. The kids got one on. And they out there really. And I'm like, yo, excuse my language, but what the fuck is going on right now? What is he doing? Right? And then he's like, yo, I'm telling you, we about to go to this fair, and then we're going to this thing. And now I'm telling you, I get so, and my brother will tell you, I am a win celebrator. I will celebrate your wins with you and not with any envy in my heart because only care that you go win in your own life because I'm gonna win at mine. And you what you do in your life don't affect me. But maybe what I do and what I talk about affects you. And whenever you do go out there and win, man, I just want to be a part of it. So I be hitting my brother up. You was at such and such place. You know how much did you do? And he'd tell me. I'd be like, oh my god, like so excited. But how do you go about getting new locations to go to, and or tell us a little bit about that process and where you are trying to get to make this thing even be a viable thing in the winter as well.
Hey, listen, business 101 is know all parts of your business. And I can tell you in this space, I am failing. That
Hmm.
is my wife's job. She handles all of that. But what I can tell you is that most of the time they are from Facebook, friends, family, people that we know that have attended different things, people that live in other communities that we know, right? So, like, I got friends that live in different parts of PA. They know when things are happening in their area. They tell us about it, like, hey, we're having a community day. You should reach out to X, Y, and Z. We contact them via email or whatever space that they operate in. They get back to us. They let us know if they have any other lemon venues or lemonade venues, I should say, or people come in there that's providing that, vendors. And then we agree or disagree to come and we go. It's again, I keep kind of saying this, but it comes back to the same thing. And I think I heard you say this before. Do what you say you're gonna do, be where where you say you're gonna be, and it's as simple as that. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be there. Show up. Just show up and do the job, show up and do what you said you're going to do, and more times than not something good is coming out of that. Whether it's a relationship, it doesn't always got to be money. There's been quite a few opportunities we went to that were just duds for us, but we didn't go there with that mindset of like, oh, this is crappy, we're not about to make no money, oh, this sucks. Now the mindset just shifted. Then now it was like, okay, let's get some content, okay, let's start making some relationships, let's make sure we pass our cards out to people, let them know we do other things. So, your mindset is everything. And if you go into something and just because it's not what you expected or what you thought might come of it, you can make it be something else. So just remember to keep your mindset always in a way where you're trying to change it to the positive and not be thinking and focusing on the negatives.
No doubt, man. Uh, how did it feel to when you first got this started? I tell the story all the time about, we did that first job, and for everyone who don't know, I've told the story a bunch of times, whether it was on Lawn Care Power Moves before, that show ended, or on the Attack with Mac. I tell the story about. I even tell it in my biggest YouTube video that got 180 something thousand views about my first ever two jobs the day after or 2 days after I broke my foot. And I'm like, my brother was out there helping me, and we had this on, and it was dog poop and all of that. Here he is. This is him. He was there. He was there for the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember when I came home, and Cass was cleaning something up. She had dinner ready and all of that. And I put my arms out like this and tears streaming down my face. And I'm like, this is gonna work. This is now we're 10 years in. So what was
Yeah.
that first feeling for you when you knew that this was going to work? And then we have one of our viewers has a question for you about the food industry. But what was that feeling like when you realized, like, yeah, I'm making lemonade, but this shit's going to work?
Yeah, man. I mean, again, I think that and this isn't everybody's situation, but at least it works for me. When I got somebody behind me that believes in something I'm telling them, I feel like it's all possible. There's no denying it. And so the main key was selling her on the idea. And once I got her to see it and like understand that the numbers behind it, because that's what she is, it was like, okay, so I have to say that first to say that we both had that same moment that you just described. It was like we were just coming back. We did a Ashley Furniture like a grand opening or season opening. It was a backpack giveaway for going back to school, and we posted up right on the corner of the Ashley's Furniture place. And yeah, we had some people that came that we knew, but like the people that were coming to get the book bags were coming down. The kids were so happy to have the candy and the drinks. I mean, like it was like to see that look on a kid's face and like walk past something and know, because I got four kids, like the desire that they have in their heart when they see something and they want it, and it's like they're not stopping until they get it. It was like I had that finally. Like I have that in my possession and I get to give that to them. And
Wow.
it was like, oh crap, like this is it. And then when we counted the money after and we're like, oh man, like, hold up, what? How long was we there? I was like, I just went to work all week and got what I And again, I was making good freaking money, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, life changing money. Like, I would never, ever, ever down talk what I was making. But when you see that, it was like, oh my God, I'm getting robbed. I could make in 3 days what I make in 14. That's a problem. Now I had to recalibrate. And that moment was like we did two events in one day. So when you talk about like jumping off the porch and you drove down the road and you seen them, we did 2 days on our street. That following weekend, we did Friday, two events in one day. We were out from 11 to 2, and then we went from that event to another event, which we got our doors blown off, weren't ready for it, and that was from like 4 to 8, and we got destroyed, and it was the most difficult thing ever. So I mean, it happened fast. She'll be coming in a couple minutes. Okay.
Poppy J.
Yeah, yeah. What's that? Cornell, I'm on his live stream. What's happening? He said, "Hey, what's happening?"
That's Poppy J.
Um, but yeah, man, it was a really gratifying feeling, and it was really eye opening. And obviously being a boss isn't easy, right? It comes with some challenges. There's no doubt about it. There's things you got to be on top of that you probably don't care or want to be. But at the end of the day, like I said, I was at a point in life where there was no amount of money that no one could give me that was gonna take my ability to be involved in my kids' lives the way I wanted to be. And
No.
that's where I was getting lost at, and I just couldn't do it no more.
All right, we're gonna
What's
answer
the
this
question?
question from
And I'll
Ryan
start going
Christopher.
up to the other
No,
section
no,
while
no,
you do
no.
that.
Wait. 'Cause I gotta promote something after you answer these two questions. So don't go up there yet. It says, I have a question. If you had questions about mobile food business, if you
No, he's
have
saying,
questions, oh, he's giving you
yeah, he's
advice.
saying he got it. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I appreciate Ryan. Ryan, I believe, is my homeboy. He's from here in Pittsburgh, and he was at Olive Garden. He worked at the Olive Garden line. Didn't you used to work at the Olive Garden? No, you worked at Red Robin. But
yeah, I worked in the room.
he worked in the food industry, and he comes to the meetup. He started a lawn care business. He's out there killing it, I believe, in South Park. But so shout out to you,
That's
Ryan.
dope.
I mistake that for a question, but you mentioned earlier about being able to talk and all of that, and I remember like I used to say to you like you could sell anything, man. You just got to sell yourself. You just got to sell yourself, and you spoken very very well about serving the people because you think you're starting a business for yourself, but you're actually starting a business for your people. So I say all the time, I'm not, I'm not in a grass cutting business, right? And whatever you do in your job, you're not in whatever that job is business. We are in the customer service business. And when you are a server at a restaurant, I know my brother is excellent at that. He's been, you know, selling for other people this whole time. So talk to us a little bit about customer service and how the jobs that you had in the past help you with the customer service that you give today.
Oh man, I mean, I've been given so much training and real time experience, whether it be face to face or over the phone. Um, you know, there are so many different levels to communicating, and I feel like a lot of people get stuck in the whole mindset of, oh, the customer is always right. And yeah, to a fault they are, but there are times where maybe the customer is not right, and there's a way you go about telling them that. And I think some people, when they get in a position of being that person that's delivering that information, that comes with a level of a badge of honor, if you will. And so sometimes you throw the weight around of the company that you're with, but in reality, you're just them, just on the other side of the phone, or on in the other side of the conversation. And so I would say that from all of my experiences, it all came down to one simple thing, and it's, can you fix my problem or not? I had a lady come up to me. Her kid pulled a seed through the straw and choked on it. Now, in my mind, I'm like, you're thinking that's common sense that can happen because it's a lemonade. It's got real lemons in it. This isn't fake. It says fresh squeeze. We're selling what we're telling you we're selling,
Mm.
right? I could have made it a big deal. I could have said no, we're not doing anything about it, right? But what's that gonna do for me? Right. So I said, okay, what's the issue? What do you need, ma'am? She's like, oh, I would just like a new one because he drank it. He spit his drink back in there. If it was me, I would have drank the drink. It's my own kid. I wouldn't have cared. You know what I mean? But that's how she felt. Made her new lemonade, sent her about her day. That's a win. So,
Mm.
ultimately, it doesn't always mean that you have to make it right, but it's in your best interest, especially nowadays, to try to make it make sense for everybody. And so sometimes that means you lose, and sometimes it means you win.
Man, that's awesome. I guess being good at talking is just something that runs in our family. Because you're as good at this as me, and I've been telling not just my brother but my friends, like, I can show you how to create a podcast. My man Tote got him over here on Instagram who's watching. We used to call ourselves
So
the Spreewell Houston Spreewell connection. Latrell Spreewell and Allen Houston played for the Knicks back in '99 when we were 13, 14 years old, and me and him would be out there killing on the court. He's out here killing it,
it's
selling
the shoe god,
dope
man.
shoes. He's like the shoe guy, So hopefully we could get him on the show to talk about the shoe business. But we've talked. It seems, well, I guess for 50 something 50 minutes right now. My brother's gonna go upstairs and set his phone up. And I'm gonna take this down because I want to tell you about the 2025 or six Win in Life Service Business Showcase. And when he's all set up and ready, and I see it down here, then we'll bring him back on and show you how to make these lemonades in case you want to go out and do this. And if you are listening on the podcast, if you're listening to this as a podcast or watching on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. We do the show every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, talking to service business entrepreneurs or people who are just in business as a whole, because business is universal. And I like to allow you to know where people came from, where they're going, and uh what wins in lives in their life is for them, because maybe you'll relate to it. But if you really want to connect on a personal level, I invite you to the 2026 Service Business Showcase meetup that I'm having here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania on March 21st, 2026. It is from 1 to 4 on Saturday, where we'll have the lemon line up there, where you will see how these lemonades are made. There's all kind of cool flavors there. It's 100% free for you. We will be having pizza, maybe wings, and maybe some soft drinks. And then afterwards, we have something planned. We'll talk about that on another show. Friday night, we'll be having a meet and greet at Buffalo Wild Wings. Saturday, we'll be having the event. And then Sunday, I invite you to come to church with me and my family to give some praise to the Most High up there, because without Him, we wouldn't be here even having these conversations. So, the 2026 Win in Life Meetup Service Business Showcase, brought to you by Mack Landscaping and Lawn Care, is now available for you to sign up on my link tree at Mack_landscaping 412 on Instagram. Any podcast show notes that you are listening on, any YouTube video that you see. And if you can't find it anywhere else, you're always welcome to email me at maclandscaping412@gmail.com, and I will send you the link. But it looks like he's ready. Hope to see you on March 21st, maybe even the 20th and the 22nd as well. So we could have a wonderful time. My Pod Road friends are coming. My man Eric Triplett from California, Naylor Taliaferro, the lawn care rookie from down there in Virginia, Mike Garvey and Larry DeSanta from up there in New Jersey, maybe even bringing the dope new Crest trailer that they got, and my man John, the Prophets Guru Pajak from Chicago. I call him the Chicago Bear. Will all be there doing shop tours with us. So I invite you to be there. Come make a YouTube video with me. I'll be doing YouTube videos of different setups that are out there so that you could go out there and help other people win in life. And this ain't just a lawn care setup showcase. No matter what service business you're doing, I want to have you out there so that you can inspire others to go out there and win in life. But it looks like he's ready. So I'm going to bring my brother back. He'll explain to you how he makes these lemonades. And then we'll find out what is winning in life to him. Let's go. Oh, we're back. He got the whole setup for us. This is something new. This is the first time ever. Has any other podcasters out there who are doing live shows, if you watch them, giving you live demonstration? Or are we starting something new like I've been doing for the last 3 years, baby? These live shows started because of your boy. All right, me and my homie Cedric. All right, but here we go. We got the lemon out. We got a knife out, cutting board, the dope logo with the cup. Now, I'll be quiet and let you explain to us more. Let's go.
All right, thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, so typically I would have gloves on in a situation, but obviously I'm making this at home, so please excuse that for all those food critics out there. I don't want your stomachs to turn, so I apologize. All right, so pretty simple here. To start, you want to cut both ends off the lemon. All right, so you cut both ends. Some people I've seen skip this step. I think it's all a matter of preference. I'm just one of those weird people where, like, if I don't like something, I'm not gonna do it. That's just kind of how I am. So then from there, let's get this out the way. Move the knife, pretty much no longer needed. We're gonna bring in our Vivor lemon slicer or fruit slicer, if you will. It's a pretty cool apparatus. I'm gonna show you how it works here in a second, right? So you let it sit here, have something sitting under it, put the lemon dead center, okay? Dead center in the middle, right there, like that. All right, bring it up the top, boom. Simple as that. Now you got yourself some lemon slices. They're all perfect. I think that's a good thing to point out too. They're not like, you know, when you do it with a knife, they're all perfect slices. So from there, you get yourself here, which is a muddler. All right. There's a lot of different of these out there. I wish I had the link that I could post it for you. But again, there are many different versions of this. This is just one of them. Some people do hand muddling. We prefer to use this. It makes it easier. Go here, and essentially all you're doing is smashing all the juice out of those lemons, bringing them all
Nice.
down to the bottom.
That logo is fire.
Right? Now, again, as I said, the goal is to get a nice bit of juice. You want a bunch of juice down there.
Hmm.
Right? So from there, because we will be making a flavored lemonade. Now, this lemonade that I'm making is a blue raspberry watermelon. It's not on our menu. So if you ever see us somewhere, you're like, oh, can I get this? You're not going to see it listed. Only certain people know about this. It's pretty much my daughter's custom drink. So again, only a few know about this. You get your sugar. Some people put this in first. And muddle with it in there. We've learned that it creates too much of a mess, and when you're outside, it brings a lot of bees. Nobody's got
Mm.
time for bees. Okay.
Oh,
So from there, we typically add our flavors. Now, normally we would pump it, but in this case, we're making it at home. I'm gonna pour it. I have a pretty good idea of where we're supposed to go. So we're gonna go here with the blue raspberry, get the bottom covered a little bit, and then this is the star. This is what makes it get a little crazy. We got the watermelon. Just a nice little dash of that. Boom. Kind of like the Keysport High School colors. That's crazy. Didn't think of that.
home of the
Right?
Tigers, baby.
Now from
Arr!
there, we
That
take
was a
our
burn.
nice fresh cup of ice. All right. Me personally, especially on a hot day, I like to fill it up. I like to get the ice all the way up here because then when you pour the water in, it melts it down a little bit. But this is kind of the makings of the beginning of it. You got your lemons, you got your sugar, you got your juice, you got your ice. Now we got the final ingredient, which is the water. Agua, as they say. The water in. You see the color is coming to life already.
I bet the kids love this part.
Man, nah, their favorite part is the end.
Oh yeah, because of the candies.
Yeah, that's all they think about. So here, there's a couple different options you can get for sugar, obviously, right? We use granulated sugar because it's a little more fine, melts quicker. When you're using ice and cold water, things typically take a little longer, right? For the sake of the video or for the stream, I'm not going to shake too crazy because nobody's in here about to drink it other than maybe one of the kids in a second. But here's the final product of the color. Um, Simple here. You would go boom, boom, pop your straw in. Now what
This
we
is
do
fire.
is we put some candy all around the top. You know, we dress it up a little bit. These are blue raspberry and watermelon rings. So we'll throw a couple on the side and then a couple on the drink. And then when the kid gets it, this is what they're getting.
Wow.
A fresh squeezed lemonade, pretty logo, nice big straw, bunch of candy on top. Gonna be happy. gonna be super happy. And they're walking around with this. This is a 32-ounce cup, by the way. This isn't like a 12-ounce or a 16-ounce cup. This is a huge cup. So they're gonna be toting this around a good while. But that's the process. Very simple, super simple ingredients. And at the end of the day, you're gonna get a banging flavor.
Man, that's fair. I remember my flavor. I like peach, and there's also some add-ons that you have. Like you could put nerds in it, right? You have all these
Yeah.
different different. There's other candies besides just the grass. I mean, my
Yeah,
man
the
Willie the
rings we
Grass
used
Man
we
just
used gummy sharks. We've used rainbow strips like the Airhead rainbow strips. I mean, honestly, any candy you could think of, we've used it. With the shaved ice, we typically use the gummy clusters with the nerds. We try to vary it depending on, but we have an option that you can add any of the candies that we offer on the menu. And we've also considered, I should have mentioned this earlier when you asked me about new stuff. We've also considered going down the bagging candy, pre-bagging candy route as well. So
mm,
that's something that we've considered too.
yeah. I mean, it's really kind of almost limitless. You know what I mean? Because you start with the base thing. It's like when you're building your basketball game, you start with the layup right under the hoop, and then you work your way out, and then you start to develop your game. Maybe you shoot threes. Maybe you're tall enough to dunk. I never was tall enough to do that. You know what I mean? You got a great free throw shooter. You dribble. You're a passer. You get better at defense. You just keep adding to your game, and so
Yep.
it's dope to see like how you started this thing and continuously added more things to your game, which is then adding to the profits that he's making. And I mean, to go from a six-figure job to owning a lemonade stand, and tell us what is your goal for this year when it comes to the lemonade stand, revenue wise. What
Yeah,
would you
I
like to
mean,
do?
I would, in a perfect world, I would love to make what I made at my job in 6 months. So my goal is to go out and make six figures in 6 months. That's really how I'm trying to attack it. That's why I've added the things that I've added, because it's got low barrier of entry with a high margin on the other side. So almost I'd say 60% of the things that I sell are 70% margins. And so I'm gonna try to really thrive in that space, and push that as far as I can. And like I said, the goal is to make what I made in a year in 6 months, so I can get into coaching and I can get into doing some other things that I really want to do with my life.
No doubt. So, what is because I have a couple like two more questions for you. What is the process uh next? Like what do you want to do next? You have this one going, but my man Willie the Grassman says he needs to franchise. I'm interested. So my man Willie the Grassman, he's from Ohio and he
Hmm.
does junk removal. You'll meet him at the meetup. I'm sure he'll be there. He's the reason I started a private group because we had a conversation. He was like, "You need, man, you motivate people. You need to have a private group." And I was like, all right. And then, a couple months later, I started one. But
Yep.
he's an entrepreneur that's trying to get out there and get after it. He's a hustler. So he's talking, franchising. DM him at the lemon lineup, Willie. I'm sure
I've been
y'all,
asked. I've been
y'all,
asked.
y'all
I've been
might be able to
asked
figure
about
it out.
storefronts. I've been asked about franchise, and I've been asked about all of that, all of the above. Nothing's off the table, man. Nothing's off the table.
No doubt. Well, before we get you out of here, Mar, this whole thing is about winning in life, not just business. There's people who have different businesses, all shapes and sizes in all different industries. And some people, their win in life is having $1 million business. Other people, like myself, it's being around my family and not having the lights get cut off and having food in the refrigerator. That's winning in life to me. What is winning in life to you?
Um, I think everybody has a version of what freedom is to them, and you know, I think freedom to me is, kid call sick, you can go pick them up. Want to go and take a 3 4 day trip, you can go. You don't got to talk to nobody and ask for approval. So I would say winning in life to me is creating a level of freedom where I can do whatever it is that I want for the remainder years that I have on this earth. I've done enough for other people, other companies, other everything. And so I'm at a point now where, I really want to just fully take advantage of every second I have here on this earth. So it's to be able to do what I want, when I want, how I want to do it.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you being on the show tonight. If someone wants more information about the lemon lineup, maybe they want to book you, maybe they want to ask questions because they want to start a lemonade stand or some other sort of business in their own area, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok at the Lemon Lineup. Our logo's pretty straightforward. Those are the three avenues we typically operate on the most. Um, and yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Well, I appreciate it, man. As you already know, how much I love you, how much I appreciate you, and how much I wish nothing but success for you. Being my, I don't even like to say younger brother anymore. He's just my brother, you know. Now he's
Yeah,
a grown
appreciate
man. It feels kind of weird saying my little brother, you know what I mean? But he
that.
is still my younger brother, and I love him. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you coming on the show. Finally, maybe we'll do a YouTube video or something to follow this up once the weather breaks and show you through video exactly how we make he makes, I keep saying we, you're my brother, I can't help it, but
It's all good.
how he makes his lemonades. And maybe we'll see him at a event here in the future, but we will definitely see him at the 2026 Winning Life Meetup
Yes, sir.
Service Business Showcase on March 21st, from 1 to 4. So Mar, I appreciate you, bro. I wish you nothing but more continued success, and I can't wait to hear about how you got to that what you made in your job in 4 months and not six,
Yeah,
because
hey, that's yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man.
but
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you so much, and appreciate everybody who tuned in. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
my man, peace. Well, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's show. Like I said, we have a meetup coming up here in March, where if you have any questions you want to ask my brother personally, he will be there doing customer service, giving out these fire lemonades, and who knows what else he might have in the trailer by the time that comes. But the Service Business Showcase is to come and help other people learn what you do because maybe they want to do it. For the people who are in lawn care, there's going to be different lawnmowers there. Maybe you have a push mower, you want to get into zero turns or bigger walk behinds, things like that. Maybe you want to go from your car to a truck, or from just your truck to a truck and a trailer. Maybe there's some mower brands that you want to try, but they're not close to you, and you're trying to see, man, maybe should I get that thing, even though it's 35 minutes away from me instead of this one that's 15 minutes away, because I just like it better. Maybe it's just the color. Who knows? But you get to talk to real people who are out here killing it in the game, just getting in the game, 10, 20, 30, 40-year veterans in the game, and they all want to share information so that you could go out and win your game of life. So I highly encourage you to sign up and be at the meetup, and come to Buffalo Wild Wings, have the small talk conversations that you have, and then give some praise to the Lord, man, because he brought you here so that you could go out here and win in life. As always, I love you, I appreciate you, I wish you nothing but success. You can also join the free Facebook group, Winning Life University. Share some of your story there. And I'm looking to book people for April. So March is totally booked up now. We got the rest of February booked up, and it's going to be fire shows from here all the way till we get to Equip Expo, which just put out a little commercial of your boy on there talking about going from being a grass cutter to a landscaping company owner, right? And Mac code Mac will save you 50% on your Equip registration. So I hope to see you down there and in Louisville, Kentucky. I want to say it's like October 21st through the 25th or something like that this year. But I got all that information on the Equip website. Like I said, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. And remember, the creator created you to be creative. So get out there and create whatever you want in your life because you deserve it. I'm out. Peace.